And welcome back to the conference. What will you be talking about today?
Today, I have an interesting story about how we as Yenlo are fighting still against the corona and the whole pandemic going on with smart IT solutions based on APIs. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing fine as well. And it's a little bit weird sitting behind your computer and not in front of all of you in a room where you can actually have a discussion, because it's a really interesting topic I would like to present to you today. I'm Ruben. I'm a father of 3 children, married, living in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. And basically, before Corona, I was a huge traveler. So I traveled a lot, 6 months a year. I was in America, in Europe, and in Asia Pacific. Talking to customers and to solutions, but during the corona, it all went to zero. The first 10 years of my professional career, I worked in different places. I used to have some companies around the world, but back in the Netherlands in 2007, I decided to start a new company called Yenlo. In my daily role, I'm the CEO and co-founder, but basically in the end, I'm a huge high energy person who loves technology, and above all, I love to discuss with customers around solutions with added value. And to do so, we embraced open source technology, also in the area of APIs and integrations. Today's story is about one of our customers. It's about the Dutch government, actually, who approached us to help them out fighting the corona and the whole pandemic with a bunch of APIs and what we nowadays call the CoronaCheck app or the Digital Green Passport. And I want to bring you aboard on the journey we had in the past 1.5 years, how we in the Netherlands are fighting still the whole corona pandemic. A little bit of background. Yenlo, a global corporation. We do have offices around the world, starting from right to left in Colombo, many places in Europe, and on the other side of the world in Seattle and Vancouver. And the reason behind this global presence is that, first of all, we have large corporations among our customers who need a 24/7 support organization to help them out. So just hitting some numbers, roughly 180 experts, day in, day out, working on API and integration solutions. We have roughly 15 large corporations on our Connext Platform solution, which I want to elaborate a little bit more on today. Many projects executed, all in the API and integration space, and 15 years in operations. So this is a little bit my background, and then you know a little bit the numbers. More important maybe is for who are we doing this? This is just a small snapshot of our customer logos. And for all of these customers, we provide API and integration solutions, most of the time based on a managed cloud solution. But why do I show you these logos? For the simple reason that when you talk about APIs and when you talk about digitalization or the digital journey, it's not specific for an industry, and it's not specific on the size of a company. Each and any company in the world needs APIs and integration in the end. I think it's one of the most innovative and one of the most challenging phenomena we currently have in the IT sector. And today I want to talk about the small blue logo, GGD GHOR in the healthcare section. So let me introduce one of our customers, GGD, to make it easy. GGD is the Dutch government who is responsible for all the vaccination programs previously, before the whole corona. And when the pandemic broke out in March 2020, GGD was asked by the Dutch government, please help us fighting the whole pandemic with all the administration and all the medical procedures behind it when it comes to, for instance, currently the vaccination program. And 1.5 years later, they added also the CoronaCheck app, which is the Dutch equivalent for the digital green passport to travel. So back in March 2020, a huge task was asked from the Dutch government to the GDD. And in May 2020, they approached us saying, hey guys, listen to us, help us out. As you know, we have a pandemic going on, and we need to integrate 24 laboratories. We need to integrate more than 50 hospitals. We need to integrate doctors. We need to integrate everything to administrate and fight the corona disease within the Netherlands. So we are facing a huge task. We currently are in May 2020, and on the 1st of June, our Prime Minister had a press conference. So when GDD approached us, they asked, and we have one condition, it must be live in less than 2 weeks' time. So can you help us out? And of course, we need everything like high availability, we need scalability, we need security, we need everything what comes around when you talk about integration with APIs. So luckily we had a solution for them. And the solution we proposed is based on the W2 technology, based on the W2 API Manager, the Enterprise Service Bus, including microservices, and a Kafka cluster for handling real-time event streams. You probably would understand that when you talk about the whole fight against Corona and in the end, vaccination programs, that security is extremely important. We're talking about medical records, we're talking about medical data, we're talking about very private data, so security to the max. We sit down for a couple of days and we gave them a solution, and I would like to present to you the solution we provided to the GDD. First of all, let's get a little bit to the business case so everybody understands the magnitude of this. So the first question was back in May, June 2020. Yeah, first of all, we would like to have control over who got in contact with whom. So it's called source contact research. So we created a set of APIs, we created a set of services, both deployed on our Connext platform, which I will explain you later on. And these set of integrations connected all the hospitals, they connected all the labs, they connected all the pharmacies with each other to exchange information if there was a corona case, whom it was, with whom he or she was in contact. So the people who were contacted, who got maybe infected, could be approached by DDD for research. So that was the first use case we implemented in less than 2 weeks' time, due to the fact that we had technology at our fingertips. The second phase was that the whole vaccination program started. I think it's the same, around the same time in Germany, but when you look at global level, everybody starts vaccinating with the elderly people all the way down to the 12 years old with different kind of vaccinations. And when you truly look at that vaccination program that took place in the Netherlands, but also in the rest of Europe and the rest of the world, it's a huge operation whereby administrative processes should be aligned, whereby communication should be aligned, whereby the medical processes should be aligned. And what we provided to GDD is, again, the next set of APIs and the underlying services running on a microservices infrastructure to make that possible at scale. We're talking about millions and millions and millions of requests in the end. And the third phase is, in the end, the CoronaCheck app. This is the mobile app we currently use in the Netherlands. Around the globe, you have the similar kind of app in different languages. But basically, I think everybody understands the process. You get vaccinated or you have a PCR test. That outcome of your vaccination or the PCR test will end up with an identity and security mechanism to your app that produces a QR code. And with that QR code, you're able to travel. So this was the third stage, which we solved with our Connext platform for the GDD. And when this happened, something else happened as well, because previously it was all private, meaning the civilians did not have access to the API layer. That was intercompany connection between hospitals and labs. But when this digital green certificate passport arrived early this summer, 2021, it was for one main reason, and that is open up the public, open up the travel possibilities, open up the restaurants to the public. So year to date, we are now live with this part since the 1st of July. We are receiving roughly 1 million API requests, API invocations per day. Again, on an extreme secure level. And when you do so, when you have such a public API like the CoronaCheck app, you sure have DDoS attacks as well. So we have to counterfight DDoS attacks. And as soon as we are talking about a solution whereby people are traveling by airplane, they're traveling by train, they're traveling by taxi, or they want to go to a restaurant, you cannot queue up. So the response, the whole process behind this needs to be provided in milliseconds. And for the technical people among us, you understand probably when you talk about such a number of requests per day, when you talk about such a performance requirement, and when you talk about such security requirements, it says something about the technology behind it. You cannot do this with an easy setup of an API manager, and you cannot do this with an easy setup of the underlying services. So the magnitude of this customer case is really enormous. So now the question arises, how did we do it? And I want to present to you the solution behind this customer case, and it is called Connext. Connext is the answer of Yenlo around an integration platform as a service. So Connext is the holy grail for people who are looking to a sophisticated API integration, including identity and access management solution, fully managed in the cloud. And when you look at the main parts, the main features, more from a high over view, it's all about what customers need. It's about high availability. You don't know when, but you know that you need to be in operations 24/7. Each company, whether you're a hospital, a government, a travel agency, you need to be online 24/7. In our case with GDD, scalability was mandatory. It's key. 1 million requests per day. We know during the evenings, the amount of load is rising because people are going to the restaurant. Also in the morning with travel. So you see a lot of peak load during the day. So scalability is mission critical. You need to burst instantly. Security, I already briefly touched it. We are talking about high sensitive data. So security should be based on zero trust. It should be an out of the box requirement. When shit hits the fan, you need support. So if you provide a solution for corporates like GDD, you need to have a 24/7 support organization in place. Time to market, as mentioned, back in June 2020, we need to go live within 2 weeks. 2 weeks to do all the infrastructure layer, to do all the solution and building the APIs and services is quite a challenging task. But sometimes circumstances demand. Flexibility, that's another good example, which all of our customers are looking for. I know one thing, the future will change. So you better have an API and integration solution which is capable to change with you along the way. Another thing is guaranteed quality. If I invent something, I want to make sure that when you deploy, when you test, when you go to market, it is always consistent in quality. And last but not least, the budget should be affordable. Of course, you can deliver such thing for a lot of money, but the key challenge is, can you do it also for a lower investment? And the answer is yes, you can. The answer is our Connext integration solution based on the open source technology of WSO2. So what is under the hood? First, when you, again, Connext is a hybrid integration platform as a service, and you can position it in the more visionary quadrants of Gartner. Under the hood, we have some critical components. Of course, that's also the main topic of today in this conference, is an API management solution. And obviously, we did it with WSO2 technology. For the interoperability, we used an enterprise service bus along with microservices to make sure that the services behind the APIs are properly managed either on an ESB level or on a microservices level. In case of the GDD, it is both. For event management, real-time event management, there is a Kafka cluster underneath. So either your API is capable to handle streaming events, also with things like MQTT, or the microservices are utilizing the Kafka cluster to do real-time processing. For identity and access management, we use WSO2 Identity Server, and for process manager, Camunda workflow engine. And obviously monitoring with Elasticsearch and audit trailing. Everything what happens will be trailed for a compliance reason. So write once, read many times, offsite audit trail for everything that happens on the complete solution running in the cloud. And when you have the green boxes in place, basically what can you do? We can connect easily any system to any system, whether it's a version difference, whether there's an interface difference. To give you an example, in the GDD case with 25 hospitals, not everybody was on REST services. So we had to deal with the same data interface, the data format. We have to deal with REST services systems, also with SOAP-based systems, but also still the ordinary file-based interface. So having a platform in the cloud, a platform as a service, we were able to deliver within 2 weeks' time any kind of interface, whether it's REST, SOAP, file-based, or any other. I think that is one of the key mission critical success factors of the Connext platform solution. So for more the technical people among us, this just a very high over diagram, an out of the box, press of the button service, whereby the complete solution is being rolled out for customers, and you can start working on your integrations. And again, consisting of the WSO2 stack for API, identity, and ESB, having ActiveIQ for queuing, Elasticsearch for mostly monitoring and notifications. And with that, we can handle actually everything for a sophisticated integration solution with all the components integrated with each other based on an Amazon Web Services. So you have all the good stuff around a cloud native deployment. This is the holy grail in the background of the GDD customer case. And that's the reason, because we do have everything clustered, because everything is high available. We were able to deliver in 2 weeks' time a huge platform that can handle 1 million requests easily, and even up to 10 million, we don't mind, because it's scalable due to the cloud native nature. How does it look like? All the compute powers, all the components are put in their own security groups, in their own auto-scaling groups. spread across multi-region, multi-zones. So when a data center is totally not reachable, it fully automatically continues on the second data center and the third data center, and so on and so on. So per default, the Connext Platform solution is high available, and per default, it's secured by a zero trust approach, whereby a redundant SSL VPN or a direct connect or VPC peering will happen with the underlying databases and the underlying services in the back, for instance, for the hospitals. So with this in place, we were able to handle the load, but also we were able to innovate, getting back to the use case. So when the whole travel started again worldwide, and especially in Europe, we suddenly saw countries going from red to orange to green. With a digital green certificate, we were able to travel again. And in the back is running, all the QR codes are generated based on this technology. And again, up and running in less than 2 weeks' time, with in the meantime, tens and tens and tens of APIs and microservices. That's all nice, but how can you see it? Well, easy. We also provided out-of-the-box dashboards, because it's nice that you create APIs, it's nice that you create microservices and identity management, but how can you actually see it? Well, by providing dashboards. Out of the box, we deliver the Kibana dashboards to the GDD, and with that, you are able to see how many logins, how many API requests, how many failures, how many throughput, and all the nice statistics you always want. These statistics are actually also used in the press conferences with our Prime Minister to give everybody an update how we are doing with the technology behind. So out-of-the-box dashboard for both APIs and services, but also for logging and authorization. This is just an example, of course. This is not real-time live data, as you can imagine. But we can, due to the fact that it is a centralized solution, we are able to track and trace the login attempts, if there is multi-factor authentication needed, if it fails, when it fails, why, where, and what. And we have the heat map at our fingertips, where in the Netherlands or the rest of the world people are actually checking the QR code to travel, not by the person as an individual, but in a generic, high general ledger way. So to summarize up what we actually provided in the end to the GDD customer case is our Connext platform. And besides the whole technology, technology is great. When you look more on the customer added value, what we did with such an API first approach and with such a cloud first approach, again, in a hybrid platform as a service, basically it drills down to 4 critical things. There is one integrated customer experience. So the customer GDD and all the hospitals and the labs around it, they have one experience how all the integrations are done for them. One way about the connectivity and the dashboarding and the service management. So there's not this integration is over there, I have to check there the logging. No, it's all centralized, so one customer experience. There's one place where all the security and policy enforcement take place. And I'm talking about audit trailing, I'm talking about the security policy enforcement for identity management. Does it need MFA or something like that? Everything handled in one place and one place only. The same counts for monitoring and alerting. With the out-of-the-box dashboarding and Kibana stack, we are able to supply an integrated overview for all the APIs, all the microservices, all the Kafka streams in one single place. And last but certainly not least, due to this centralized approach, there is also one way for all the auditing and logging. And the last one is very interesting. When you are, for instance, in the banking industry, when you are in the insurance industry, and you have to deal with regulators, like in Germany with BaFin, for example, you are compliant out of the box. So you are compliant for PSD2, you are compliant for open healthcare, you are compliant whenever there's a regulator that needs to have a proper audit and logging trail about what's happening with your integration platform. And that's not only for the API requests themselves, but also with the deployments of the artifacts. To give you a last example there, in the whole philosophy of Zero Trust, we believe that immutable deployments are critical. You really need to make sure that your IT personnel did not change the source code, did not change the configuration of a running system. So audit trailing and logging is really critical when you are dealing with regulators, which is in a GDD case, our case as well. So this was my presentation for you today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you pick up some elements, maybe some learnings for yourself. Basically, I want to give you, if you're looking for a platform as a service which is capable to deliver all of this out of the box, and you also have a short time to market, please don't mind, contact me, contact Yenlo, check our website, yenlo.com, and I'm pretty sure we can help you out. So thank you so much.